And we begin tonight in London, where an investigation's underway and the death toll is expected to rise after fire engulfed a 24-storey apartment block in North Kensington yesterday. At least 12 people are dead, 68 are in hospital, but a large number, possibly even hundreds, remain unaccounted for following the fire, which is still smouldering more than 24 hours on. And tonight, a couple who escaped from the 18th floor reveal the building was visited by fire crews only last Saturday. The couple says if they'd heeded building protocol from both the fire brigade and building managers to stay in their apartments, they wouldn't be alive today. Bridget Burke reports.
The light of day revealing the stark reality of the Grenfell Tower tragedy. Window after window of twisted metal and black. Inside the blackened shell, once home to more than 600 residents, pockets of fire could be seen as the building continued to smoulder. Outside, hours after the fire, plumes of black and grey smoke continued to billow into the sky.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 11. It was an inferno. It was like something out of a film. All bits were flying off of the flats, all the plastic cladding was coming off. I was looking up and I could see little kids at the windows banging, screaming, flashing lights. So it was like something out of a horror movie.
It is not known just how many residents like Mickey got out or how many may have perished there.
But it's completely gutted, burnt out, the whole block is. The whole block is. About 1:30 this morning, I was dozing off, I was going to sleep. My girlfriend was fast asleep, the little girl was fast asleep next door. And just as I was dozing off, I smelled plastic. So I thought, hang about, there's a Kindle next door, so I thought it might have been that, but it's overheating. So I've jumped up, turned all the plugs off, there's nothing going on. So I've gone into the kitchen, had a fag because I'd woken up now. I've opened the window up, and I could hear someone shouting, it's getting bigger, but I couldn't see nothing. But I could smell the smoke getting even worse. So I've gone to the front door, I've looked through the spy hole, and there was just smoke everywhere. I've opened the door up to go out into the hallway, and all the neighbours were screaming. And fire alarm was going off, but it was very low. It weren't going to wake no one up, you know. If anyone was in a deep sleep, there's nobody going to wake up.
And what about the state of your flat?
You know, I haven't been back up there yet, but from the outside, you can say that it was burnt right throughout. Throughout everything we own in there, it's gone. You know, everything. You can see from Latimer Road when you look up, you can see our flat, it's gone.
There were 120 one- and two-bedroom flats in the 24-storey block. Many surviving residents say the recently refurbished building in North Kensington had no sprinklers, and if there were fire alarms, they didn't hear them. Francis's cousin lived in the building with her son. At the height of the fire, she called him to ask for help.
She was actually saying, are you guys coming? Are you guys coming? Are you guys coming? I was like, yeah, we're coming, because when we went to get the shield from the police van, I thought, yeah, they're going up there to get them down.
But Francis doesn't know if his cousin or the toddler made it out.
And she was saying, Jeremiah, it's not breathing, it's not breathing. I'm like, okay, give him the kiss of life, give him the kiss of life, you know, and just try to kiss his, blow breath in him, and then compress his chest, so, you know, so he can breathe. And can you imagine the mother and son, you seeing your son like that? You know, it's very painful, very painful.
The Grenfell Action Group Residents Association says it had raised multiple concerns in the past about the risk of fire in the building and its exterior cladding, but these concerns fell on deaf ears.
I've only lived there for less than a year, so I moved in July, and this was one of my main concerns about living in a tower block. On Saturday we did have the fire brigade team come around and speak to people in their houses.
Check alarms to make sure they're working.
Just this Saturday?
Just this Saturday.
Seriously?
Yeah. And they told us the protocol was to close your door because the fire door will withstand the heat for a duration of time. But I think what's happened is they're not understanding that this fire has spread all around the building, so that is wrong information for that building and the material in that building, because if you're staying in your house, you could still be trapped.
More than 250 firefighters fought the fire at its peak, but had difficulty reaching people trapped above the 20th floor. The London Fire Brigade's Director of Safety and Assurance, Steve Apter, said his crew's attempts to go higher were hampered by a fractured gas main.
That obviously, as you can imagine, created quite a significant hazard. Once that was isolated, the crews were able to progress. Conditions in the tower, and you can see for yourselves, the fire's been burning for some time. The integrity of the building is a significant issue for us as a hazard. But I can confirm crews did make it to the top floor.
Investigations have begun into the cause of the fire, how it spread so rapidly, and why residents were told to stay inside their apartments in the event of a fire. Council leader Nick Paget-Brown vowed the investigation would be thorough.
It is perfectly true that Grenfell Tower underwent a major refurbishment programme starting about 2.5 years ago to improve the hot water system, to improve the heating, to improve insulation, put in new windows, new external cladding, to improve the quality of life for people who were living there. Now clearly when you do that, there are difficulties, problems, complaints, logistics to resolve, and it is undoubtedly the case that the council received some complaints about the way the work was being conducted. But we will need to look much more closely at how much of that corresponds to the cause of today's fire.
British Prime Minister Theresa May said hundreds of people had lost their homes and she expected the death toll to rise significantly.
Of course, once the scene is secure, once the recovery is complete, then an investigation will take place into the cause of the fire and if there are any lessons to be learned. But until then, our focus must be on ensuring that the emergency services have what they need to continue with their harrowing work and that help and support is being provided to all those who have suffered as a result of this tragedy.
As the fire service used drones to create access to difficult parts of the building's charred shell, the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said authorities would need to take responsibility.
I believe we need to ask questions about what facilities and resources have been given to every local authority that has tower blocks within the area, and frankly, most do. We need to deal with this. We need people to be safe living in high-rise buildings.
Out of the tragedy have come stories of kindness, with Londoners opening their homes to surviving residents and others spending the night in local churches. Many have lost everything, escaping with just the clothes they were wearing. Volunteers Abigail Williams and Cassie Pearce said they were stunned at the numbers of people turning up with donations of food, clothing and water.
The response is unbelievable. I mean, the church was filled with donations almost by 10 o'clock.
On the other side, all the donation points are closed off because everyone's had so much stuff. I know people are doing massive Amazon Prime deliveries as well.
Yeah, and the shock, I don't know, it's just, I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, it's kind of...
Can happen anywhere, but shouldn't happen anywhere.
The death toll remains at 12, but is expected to rise significantly in the coming hours. 68 patients are being treated in 6 hospitals. 18 of them are critical. For Checkpoint, Bridget Burke.